Well, before we get started here, I'm going to whine about the weather. I know nobody likes to hear about that, but come on, man. It's already a week into March, and it's not nice out. Not at all. It's, Celsius minus 12, 15, I don't know. Not very nice. I checked the conversion on it, and for those of you that are still doing Fahrenheit, it's about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's well below freezing, and there's a bit of a breeze today too, which adds to it, and even a little bit of a breeze when it's this cold. Not very nice. So hey, if you guys can put in a word with Mother Nature to smarten up a little, I'd appreciate it. I know some of you are already enjoying pretty nice weather where you live, but not around here, unfortunately. And well, usually by this time of the year, it's starting to smarten up a little bit and get a little nicer, but for some reason this year, it's still not that nice yet. But hey, spring's just around the corner and it will get better. So stick around here and we'll talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about. Oh, hi folks. Welcome back to Max Nave Horsemanship. Today we're going to talk about looking after your horse. Well, one of the ways you can look after your horse. And one of the things that you can do is making sure that they get lots of movement. Now, I've talked about this before in the past, how box stalls, tie stalls, stuff like that are not great. And sometimes just the way it is, you don't have much room. Now, even here, there's actually a lot more room than it appears, because the horses can go back around behind the Quonset, and there's a fairly large area over there that they can go. But I want to show you something that I don't think it was planned this way, but it sure has worked out good. Because, well, as you can see, they're eating. Because this is where the food usually is. Now, there's a couple different ways the food gets put out around here. But it's always in this general area. The water, however, is quite a ways away. And that encourages movement of the horses, because between eating and drinking, they're walking back and forth all the time. Now, for those of you that don't already know, movement is very important to the horse. Physically, it's important for many reasons, and a lot that you might not even suspect. Movement's good for the hoof health. Their circulation overall, very important as well. And it's also important to the digestive system. They need movement. Yep. Walking and digestion go together, believe it or not. And very important that they get that. It's also very good for their mental health if they can walk around too. Another very important factor. So if you can somehow arrange it, now I know that some places it's just real difficult, because if you got a lot of snow, it's real hard to get your feed out through all the snow and everything, so putting it out at the far end of the pasture is not really a practical thing to be doing. And besides, you don't really want your horses way out at the far end of the pasture where you can't keep an eye on them. Well, at least some people would think it that way. But if at all possible, you can arrange things, because, well, this area, it's not huge. I mean, it's much bigger than it looks. There is another fairly large area behind that Quonset that they can go through. But if you can arrange it so that the horses have no choice but to move around, that's all the better, because especially in the winter months when there's a lot of snow, they unfortunately tend not to move a whole lot. And I've seen cases where the water and the hay were quite close together, and if you look in the snow, the tracks that the horses were leaving throughout the more severe months of the winter where there's lots of snow, you're lucky if they travel 100 feet away from the food and water, and you don't really want that. You want to encourage movement as much as possible. So if you have the option, remember, like I said, it's not always possible, but if you have the option and you can do it, even in the summertime, set it up so the food and water are apart from one another, so the horses actually have no choice but to move to get to both of them. And the extra movement will improve their health physically and mentally. And, well, we all want happy, healthy horses, don't we? I do. Have a good day.